Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. Ultimately, what happened was after getting all my errands done pretty quickly, all right, we looked into what we wanted to do for the day, and something happened. I never expected this. My wife says to me, so I want a game to play between now and the release of Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon's Dogma 2, for those who don't know, comes out around middle of March. She's like, that's the next game I'm eyeballing. I'm really excited for it. I want to play it, but I don't want to jump. I don't want to, you know, I just would need something else to kill time. Even if it's not that serious of a game or whatever, I just need something to play. And of course, I've been suggesting all kinds of Game Pass games to her. Like, what about Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice? That way you'll know what this is for when the sequel comes out, if you want to play the sequel or not. What about Persona 3 Reload that just came out? Because she liked Persona 4. She started Persona 5 but didn't get too far in it. And I'm like, you know, you might like that. It's a total remake from the ground up of Persona 3. Persona 3 is a great game. I'm sure they probably fixed the issues I had with it. So I'm giving her all these suggestions. And basically I go out, I do all the errands. And I come home, and she goes, I've decided what I want to do. I want to try Skull and Bones. And I was like, what? Like, I was blown away. Like, she would want to try that. Because she knows all about the game. She knows it's been stuck in development hell for nearly a decade. She knows about the stories, of all the problems with this game and everything. And I was like, huh? And she's like, yeah, basically because, it has the ship combat of Assassin's Creed 4 and also other Assassin's Creed games in the future had that. And she loved the ship combat. And she says, maybe it'll have something fun about it. And I was like, well, that's up to you. But of course, she's doing it the smart way. Did she spend $70 on it? No. You'd have to be nuts to do that. She basically got Ubisoft Plus, which is the monthly subscription. It's $18 a month. And you get access to all of Ubisoft's games for the month, And by the way, if you do that, you get all the advanced access and you get all the deluxe versions. Okay? So she decided to basically do that and then get it off of Ubisoft Plus. So she was able to get Skull and Bones on her Xbox Series S deluxe edition, like premium edition, which comes with extra missions and a few extra in-game things for doing it. And this was the advanced edition. I guess the game technically comes out today, but if you had gotten the special edition, it came out like a day early. So she was able to play it yesterday. Okay? So let's talk about Skull and Bones. We played it for 2 hours, and here was our experience, okay? When you first boot up Skull and Bones, you're essentially on a ship that immediately gets destroyed, and so you're with, like, this skeleton crew. It's like you and 2 other people on, like, a skiff, a tiny little boat that's just going around, and your job is essentially to survive. So you're, like, sailing around fighting sharks with, like, spears, and you basically have to gather a few resources, do, like, mini missions, and then get to the first town, which is called St. Anne, all right? So at first, it's kind of interesting, because you're learning the controls. It's a little different than, when you're on the skiff, it's different than when you played Assassin's Creed. And the graphics, I'll be honest, they're not terrible, but they're also not good. Like, the water effects are hilarious. It looks like fuzz. It looks like fuzz is coming on your bows. Like, is that supposed to be water, or are you, like, in the field of pollen in the middle of spring? Like, what is this? The effects are bizarre. I think they use their own graphics engine called Anvil, and honestly, it doesn't look that good. I was like, why did they go with that? They could have easily gone with something else. It was just weird to me. I was scratching my head, like, why did they go with that? So once you arrive at St. Anne, all the story begins. I said the story begins because basically this is where the game guides you, but what you quickly start to understand about Skull and Bones is that there is no story. Skull and Bones is the story of you being a pirate, and that's it. And what I mean by that is, what does a pirate do? Well, you probably need a ship. You probably need to arm that ship with, like, weapons. You probably need to eventually recruit more crew members. You need to go out and sail, and you're probably going to be fighting other ships and pillaging and plundering certain areas and things like that. Yes, that's the game. No, but that's the whole game. Like, there's no actual narrative to it. It's just, you just play it for the sake of playing it. There's no story involved. And that's what I mean when you think about, Assassin's Creed 4, Edward Kenway. He was one of the best protagonists in Assassin's Creed history. He was super unique. His story was great. There was great supporting characters. There's none of that in Skull and Bones. There's no narrative. You're just going to a town and talking to NPCs. They're giving you missions, which are essentially go out there and sack ships, gather resources, craft things, improve your ship and crew, and then go out there and do it again. That's the game. That's the entirety of the game, okay? Now, if you're okay with that, then good for you. If you like that, if that gameplay loop sounds exciting to you, then maybe this is the game for you. But if you were looking for any kind of a meaningful story, there's zero. They didn't even write one. They didn't even bother with that, okay? If you've ever heard of, like, the term games as a service, I think this is, like, the poster child textbook example of what that will become if games as a service just becomes the standard in the industry. There's no point to playing Skull and Bones besides wasting your time, but if you enjoy your time that you're wasting, then I guess it's okay. One of the notable things about Skull and Bones is immediately when you start playing, even before you get to the first town of St. Anne, it's co-op. You can immediately team up with people online. And, yeah, like, basically, it immediately throws you into this online world. The funny part about it is you don't even understand what it means. It's like, oh, so-and-so's, wants to join the party. Do you just say yes? Do you say no? I don't know. What does it entail? So you're like, okay, let's join the party. So you say join party. And then what happens is everyone's still playing the game separate. Like, you still have to play it separately. It reminds me of, like, World of Warcraft, where you're in a party, but everyone's doing different things. But if you're in the same mission, what you all have to do is go talk to the same NPC to advance the story. There's no story, but advance the mission to go to the next part. So, for example, we're in the tutorial area, sailing around. We join a group just to see what it does. It doesn't seem to do anything. And then we talk to the NPC, which advances the mission. Okay, let's go to the next mission. Oh, you can't because the other person in your group didn't talk to the NPC yet. Huh? So now I gotta fucking go pull this fucking no-load and get them to play the game? What are they doing? Scratching their ass? Sailing around fucking... Who knows what they're doing, right? So I gotta wait for them? So unless you're gonna team up with people you know and you're gonna voice communicate and coordinate, don't go into multiplayer with randoms. It immediately is a hassle in this game. There's no fucking point to doing it. Okay? So, anyway, some hilarious moments of us playing Skull and Bones. Hilarious moment number 1. Kat is sailing around in the skiff, alright, and she needs to gather resources to build her first ship. As she does it, first of all, we quickly realize there's no actual, like, action in the game. It's all quick time events. So you go to harvest wood, all of a sudden a giant saw appears on the screen with a meter, yellow, green, and red, and you have to press the button when it's in the green to harvest maximum wood. And I'm thinking to myself, this looks familiar somehow. I gotta put my finger on it. Okay? So then, oh, we gotta harvest coconuts. Well, you have a sickle, and it shows a sickle attacking a tree, and you have to press the button when it's in the green, or else you don't harvest as many coconuts, or you fail and you don't get the coconuts. Okay? So you never get off the boat. You never actually do these things. They're all quick time events. Okay? So we're doing all this harvesting, gathering, and then all of a sudden the game freezes. We're like, oh no, the game froze. Did it save anything? It freezes, I'm not kidding you, for about 15 to 20 seconds. Then all of a sudden the game unfreezes and plays at 10 times speed. So we went from frozen to our boat has a rocket in its ass, and it goes boom, and it starts flying across the ocean, and it careens into the shore, and it goes boom. We're like, what the fuck just happened? What is this shit? Yeah, it's fucking a piece of shit game, like turbo boat got into the ground, like explosions. Like, what the fuck? So I was like, okay, so that was hilarious. Also, there's an unlimited supply of sharks. Everywhere you go in the game, there's a shark attacking you constantly. So all you're throwing unlimited spears at sharks, trying to kill off Jaws. Like, Jaws is hunting you endlessly in this game. Just get the fuck away from me. It's so stupid. How many fucking sharks could there possibly be in the ocean that want to eat you? It doesn't make any sense. But you know what it is? You need gameplay, and this is the gameplay of the game, so they had to put that in there. Okay? So eventually, you're going to gather enough resources to build your first ship. Alright? So you go to St. Anne, you build your first ship. And I wish this was an exaggeration. I wish I was making the story up. I promise you this is God's honest truth. Kat is going to sail out for the very first time. Her first mission, go destroy 2 ships. You know, be a pirate. Go destroy two like, cargo ships. And then come back with the spoils of your sacking of the ships. She's going to sail out of the first harbor of the game, St. Anne. It's the starter harbor. And there's 2 ships, giant ships, sitting in the harbor. She's like, what's that? She sails out. They immediately aggro to her and instantly destroy her boat. What was that? This is the starter harbor. Why would there be giant enemy ships sitting in the harbor? So in this game, when your ship gets destroyed, you have to go back to where your ship was and gather the resources because they drop. If you don't, you lose all your resources. So she respawns, and she sails. They're still there. The fuck is going on? Why are there 2 ships there? They're not, by the way, this is not human-controlled ships. These are just NPCs, like actual computer-controlled enemy ships sitting there. So she pulls up her spyglass and looks. They're level 10 ships. Level 10. She's level 2. She just started the game. Why are there level 10 ships in the starter area? So she tries to sneak by. She grabs the cargo. She sneaks, and now they're chasing her. I'm not kidding you. I timed it. They chased her for 5 minutes. They wouldn't leave her alone. They chased her across half the fucking map of the game until finally they broke off their pursuit. It didn't make any sense. Like, this is the beginning of the game and this is what they throw at you? So finally, you know, she's out of there and she's like, well, I could go destroy the ships, but let me explore. So she did. She sailed around for a little bit. She explored. She liked that they were singing sea shanties and stuff, just like they did in Assassin's Creed when she was sailing around. She enjoyed that. Did a little bit of combat here or there. Some loot. Again, the looting is a joke. You go to another town, you can't access the town. All you do, you press a button, you're in a menu. Oh, you want to buy stuff? You're still on your ship. You literally never leave your ship. You just sit on your ship, and it's like there's an inventory menu that opens up. You can buy items from a vendor. That's it. There's no town exploration whatsoever in the game. Okay? She goes and fights a ship, and it says, do you want to board the ship and try to take it over rather than destroy it? Sure. She presses the button. There's a meter that blinks. Okay, your guys are on the ship fighting it. Wait, what? Yeah, your guys are on the ship fighting it right now. Well, can I go do that? No, that's not in the game. It's just automatic. It just does it, like, off camera, and then you'll find out after the fact what happened. You don't actually board the ship and fight it or anything. That doesn't exist. Huh? So literally the entire game, you're just sitting on your ship or you're walking through one town of St. Anne, and that's it. At least in the early portion of the game, that's all you can do. Quick time events and button pushes on the ship. That's the whole fucking game. So finally, she's coming back to St. Anne, all right? And again, the fucking warships are still guarding the port of St. Anne. So she tries to sneak by again. They destroy her ship instantly again. So she respawns at St. Anne, drives back out, gets her resources, goes back to St. Anne. She goes to talk to an NPC. The NPC, you know, is supposed to do, okay, you destroyed the first 2 ships. Congratulations, here's your reward. It gives her reward, and the game just stops. Everyone's just awkwardly like standing here like this. Huh? The NPC finished their dialogue, but didn't finish the scene. So everyone's just like standing around like this. Huh? What do we do? You press every button, nothing happens. You press start, nothing. Nothing works. You're just frozen. Everyone's just forgot their line. It's like you're in the movie, someone forgot their lines, so everyone just stands around awkwardly. So she closes the game. She reboots the game. It didn't save any of that. So now she would have had to go back from when she destroyed the ships, get past the armada again, get back to the first town, and do the whole thing. And she's like, fuck this. And she closed it. And she's like, I'm not playing this ever again. I was like, wow. That's quadruple A game development, according to Yves Guillemot. That's their first ever quadruple A game, baby. Wow, that's a lot to offer. Now, basically, here's the deal. All right? It's not that it's awful. It's just not a good game. You can tell this is a game that's not finished. You can tell this is a game that was likely rushed and released because they had to. If you don't know the story of Skull and Bones, this game started development around the same time as Sea of Thieves. And you remember how many years ago Sea of Thieves released? They were announced the same E3. And everyone was like, what's the coincidence that Ubisoft and Microsoft are both making a pirate, like, online co-op survival game at the same time? It's weird, right? But Sea of Thieves released, flopped, kept selling because it was on you know, their on-demand service. I forget, it wasn't called Game Pass back then. It was something else. And then it got a player base, and it got a community, and then a bunch of fucking trolling and a bunch of toxic shit got associated with that community. But today, it's a healthy game. It thrives. It has tie-ins with, like, Monkey Island and other things. Like, it's done well for itself over these years. This game still didn't come out. It's been 10 years. And Skull and Bones still didn't come out. This game has been started over twice, I believe. It was developed by 10 or more different Ubisoft studios, all working different parts of it at remote locations. Okay? And the real reason this game came out, for those who don't know, Ubisoft Singapore, yes, they have a Singaporean development branch, made a deal with the Singaporean government. They took a government grant to make this game. So they took government money and said, thank you for the money. We're going to use this to develop our game and make it better because it's going to be a product of Singapore. But then the game kept getting delayed and canceled, and Singapore got on their ass and was like, we gave you money. You can't just not release the game that we gave you money to develop. You have to release it, or else we're going to basically go to court with you and give you all these fines and penalties for violation of our agreement. Like, you can't just screw the government, you know? So basically, they had to release it. And I really feel like they totally released this game in this condition because they were legally bound to. They didn't have a way out of it, or else they were going to get really into big trouble. So you play the game and you're like, it totally feels like it's not finished. Like, they rushed it. Yeah, and by the way, remember I was saying, the quick time events to harvest, resources? And I was saying it seems similar to something. Yeah, you want to know what it seems similar like? A mobile game. This whole game, Skull and Bones, feels like you're playing a mobile game the entire time. And I was thinking to myself, this is a mobile game. Everything about it could be played on a phone. There's literally nothing with complex controls. It all could be done touchscreen phone. And I was like, I bet that's what it is. How much do you want to bet this was a mobile game or was being developed as a mobile game? And then at some point they said, let's just make this the real game. And then that's it. This is the game. Oh my God. But by far of all the time, I wish we had a camera rolling when the game froze for 15 seconds, unfroze, and our boat turboed into the shore like it was rocket powered and just exploded. I wish I had that on camera for you guys. That was the most fucking hilarious moment I've seen in ages in any game. We were both laughing hilariously at how bad the fucking game is. So, now here's the thing. I've heard a few people saying, oh, it's not that bad. Here's the deal. It's time to stop giving games a pass because you're playing it with friends and you like it with your friends. All right? It really is. It's time to stop with this nonsense. Because here's the deal. I'm going to name a few games for you guys, okay? Destiny 1 and 2. Okay? The Tom Clancy co-op games, which I've forgotten what the name of them. Not Ghost Recon. What are the ones where there's two of them and you team up with a team of people and you're co-op online, looter shooter shit? I can't remember what it's called anymore, but there were two of them. You guys are going to remember those, right? This whole industry, there's like, maybe I can name The Division. Thank you. The Division 1 and 2 and all of its expansions. Correct? And I'm sure you guys, now that I brought up Destiny and The Division, you guys can think of 10 more that are the same exact genre of game. Not saying they're the same gameplay, but it's you team up with your friends, you go online, you endlessly grind to do co-op, and it's a fun experience, okay? Fair enough. There's a place for those games, and there's definitely a genre. It's a genre to itself, and it's popular. It makes money. But at one point, when are we going to actually sit down and look at these games together and say, but are these games actually good? Or are they only entertaining because you're having a social experience with your friends as you experience them? I challenge you to tell me the story of The Division 1 or 2 is good. Like, wow, I'm so happy I played The Division because that was one of the best stories I've ever seen in gaming, right? Or even that the gameplay loop is that good. Or did you enjoy The Division 1 and 2 because you played it with a bunch of friends? And you teamed up and you had camaraderie and it was fun. You were joking with each other when you played it, right? And again, that's okay, but there's a problem with that. You got these inferior games. They don't play well. And a lot of these games launch awful and then over a year or two get improved because now the game's out there, people bought it, so now you got post-release support that makes these games better or maybe even eventually what they were intended to be at launch, but they rushed the game out, right? But we have to stop, as consumers, accepting that games come out unfinished. Skull and Bones is not even a half-finished game. All you have to do is play it for 20 minutes and you're going to realize that. You're like, what is this shit? Like, there's no story. There's no actual gameplay in any town besides the starter town. You can't fight hand-to-hand. You can't board enemy ships besides a meter. You can't harvest things besides a quick time event. Like, where's the gameplay? The gameplay loop is like playing a mobile game on your phone. So why did you buy a console game? It doesn't make sense. And the problem is if we accept games like this and we say, oh, it's fun to play with friends, Fine, but is it a good game? I don't care if you had fun fucking around with your friends. Because the truth is, right now, you go to the movie theater, and you can see the worst movie you've ever seen, but you're joking with your friends, and it's a great time. Does that mean the movie's good and people should go watch it? No. It means you made fun of it so bad that it was a good time. That doesn't mean the movie was good. So it's the same thing with games. Just because you made fun of the game and you fucked around and had a social experience with your friends doesn't mean the game was good. It just means you found a way to make the best of the situation, right? So you have to stop this shit. Because if we keep rewarding games like this, oh, well, it was fun because I played it with my friends. I don't care. I don't care what you did with your friends. Was the game good? Compare it to other games that are out for the same price point of $70. They are charging $70 for Skull and Bones. This isn't even a $20 game at this point. I wouldn't pay $20. Kat paid $18 for Ubisoft Plus, played it for 2 hours. She says, I got ripped off. I got completely ripped off. This is not a game. I agree. After doing it for 2 hours, that was a joke. That wasn't even close to a full game experience. No one should pay for that at all. Yet now we're supposed to forgive this? Oh, $70. Oh, it's fine because I played it with my friends and we had a good time. Fuck you and your friends. I don't care about what you did. You could also go play basketball with your friends and have a good time. That has nothing to do with the quality of the game. The game's terrible. So why are you saying that it's a passable experience when it's not? Right? I hate people who want to rationalize and justify shit like that. Sorry, my experience with Destiny, it never was good. It's not terrible, but it's nowhere near as good as a Halo experience. It's nowhere near as good as any real MMO. It's just a shooter that got tons of budget to advertise. So they always said it was the best one, and it wasn't. It's boring as dirt. It's a fucking boring-ass gameplay loop, and it never deserved an iota of the attention or popularity it got. People just fell in line to, oh, this is the good co-op game. I must play it. I must play it. It's just not that good. The Division is a joke. I played it, if you remember, I played it as when it was free for like a week after E3 or something like that. I was like, I don't get it. Like, I mean, okay, you play with friends, but it's just, there's nothing special to this. There's nothing unique. Well, Fallout 76. Do you remember that debacle? How bad it released? And then I actually played it during E3 week the year after, when it was free. And the game, I have a teammate who can't get off his knees. He's sliding around on the game endlessly on his knees like this, whee, like he's on treads, like he's on a tank, woohoo! And he's like, dude, this game's been out for like 4 or 5 months. Why is the game still so glitched? You scoot around on your knees. Like, what the fuck is this junk? Oh, but it's a good game because you play it with your friends. No, it's not. It's junk. Stop buying and rewarding junk. If you keep buying and rewarding people with awful games like this, the whole industry will be this games as a service trash. Everything will be a click, a fucking mini game, tap the buttons, bullshit. All the games you buy will be trash. You have to stop. I don't care that co-op is fun. Demand better. Demand that the co-op game is better. Not that, oh, we had fun because we fucked around in it. Yeah, you could also fuck around in real life or in any other game and have a better experience. I don't want to hear it. Stop spending money on this trash. Stop rewarding idiots. Yves Guillemot, right now, actually thinks he has a quad A game. Fuck him. And fuck his company and make him suffer. Don't buy this piece of shit. And then actually he won't be rewarded for idiocy. But the problem is you keep rewarding the idiocy by buying these terrible games. Do not buy Skull and Bones under any circumstances. Do not buy it. Do not play it. Do not watch someone play it. Do not get Ubisoft Plus. Do not even click on a picture of it. Do not even look at the art online. Don't watch a video of it. Don't do nothing. Stop wasting time on this shit. Because if it actually doesn't exist, it won't recoup its cost, and then they'll fucking stop with this bullshit, and they'll make good games again. But we have to stop entertaining garbage. Okay. So. That was our day off, all right? Oh, by the way, what did we do after that? She downloaded Persona 3 Reload and started playing the first, like, hour and a half of it. And, of course, she's hooked on the story already. She's like, oh, the story is interesting. I'm like, yeah, I know. The Persona games are always like that. They have a story that hooks you. Now, what I'm curious, is she going to like the gameplay? I don't know if she's going to like the gameplay. Because the game is older. And I don't know if they've updated the combat to be more modern, like a modern JRPG, or if it is more outdated like the game was when I played it. So I don't know if she's going to end up liking it too much. But there you go. I guess we'll see. But yeah, she's playing Persona 3 now. And I wonder if she's going to stick with it for the next month until like Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out. So So there you go. And by the way, that's cool because I already played Persona 3, so I can't spoil myself on it. So I can watch her play with no issues, which is really cool. So, all right. So that was the Phil's Day off. Oh, yeah. And we had Indian food for dinner. I actually got lamb biryani rice, and she got a chicken tikka masala curry, and it was very delicious. We haven't had biryani rice in ages. The last time I had it was here on Feasting with Phil when we ordered it for like an event. It's super duper good. It's spicy, but it's got tons of flavor, all these veggies and stuff in it. It's absolutely gourmet delicious. So there you go. Ellipsian says the combat is now pretty much Persona 5. They changed it. Good. I'm happy. I hope you're right. I'm happy to hear that because I want Kat to enjoy the game. And I know that if it is as outdated as it was when I played it, especially some of those dungeons, she's going to be like ripping her hair out of her head. So hopefully they've improved it. And hopefully there's more saving. I really hope so. Anyway, so that was our day off. All right. However, during our day off, something else happened. Xbox came out and did their big podcast to address all the rumors. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for DSP News. We roll right into the next segment of the show. Phil Spencer comes out on this Xbox podcast yesterday and 1,000,000% confirms everything that I fucking said to a T. In fact, he went even further. Because if you remember what I said was, at worst, I bet what's going to happen is that Microsoft's going to say they're going to take some of their exclusive games that have been exclusive for a while and they're going to start porting them to, say, PlayStation, maybe in 6 months, right? Like, take a game like Hi-Fi Rush. It'll come out for Xbox first, you'll have the exclusivity window, and then they're going to port it to PlayStation, right? No, it wasn't even that bad. All Phil Spencer said was 2 things. Number 1, we are not giving up on hardware. Whoever made up that rumor is an idiot. In fact, our next gen of consoles, we're going to try to actually push the limits of technology. The next Xbox will be the most powerful console available. That's what we're aiming for. That's number 1. And number 2, yes, we're going to take 4 games that are Xbox exclusives now, and we are going to release them as third-party games. If they do well, we may look to make more games third-party in the future, but this is like a test case. He didn't even say what the games were, but he did confirm it will not be Starfield, and it will not be the upcoming new Indiana Jones game. Okay? So, the speculation, and again, this is all speculation, is that the actual 4 games... Oh, did I not write it down? Oh, shit. I didn't write it down. One of them is definitely Hi-Fi Rush, and... Oh, here it is. Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded are the supposed speculated 4 games that they're going to make cross-platform and be on PlayStation. Okay? Do any of those games sound like they're going to have any huge impact in the gaming landscape because they're on PlayStation? No. Not at all. It'll be cool if they're cross-platform, even if they have cross-platform play, because those games, like, for example, Sea of Thieves and Grounded, are co-op games. So imagine being able to play with people on a wider player base. That's actually kind of a good thing, a beneficial thing for those games' life cycles, right? So what's the deal if these are going to be cross-platform? None at all. 0. And again, Phil Spencer confirms we are not giving up on the console game, on the console, thing. We want to make a new console that's the most powerful ever. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember all those rumors? Remember all that speculation? Remember all those places that were actually saying the sky is falling, Microsoft is done, they're going full third party like Sega, and the Xbox logo was on fire, and there were big nuclear mushroom cloud explosions, and people were doing entire weeks of podcasts and shows speculating about the end of Microsoft as a game developer. Remember all that? Yeah, all those people lied to you and were doing it just for money. Every single person who did that was a scumbag. Every fucking one on the internet. They all lied to you. They made up stuff. They rumor mongered to have clickbait content so you would give them time and money. So I want you to think about those people now, because I know a lot of you probably watch their content. I want you to think about, is that the kind of person who you should continue to go back and watch their content? Do you think that? Do you think you should do that? Waste your time on someone who lies to you constantly so you will go there and watch their content and give them money? Because none of them had anything to say of any intelligence. They literally just blew smoke up your ass for a week with 0 evidence or facts. What did I say? I said, it's all rumors. No one has any factual basis to say any of this. There's 0 evidence that Microsoft is getting out of the console game. No one said that. No facts. Why are people reporting it like fact? What is wrong with people? This is it. This is modern online content creation. Lie to get the attention of the viewer. The viewer trusts the person, And now everyone's freaking out. Oh my God, drama, drama, drama. Clickbait, clickbait, money, money, money. And then a week later, Phil Spencer has to actually come out and say, it's all bullshit. I don't know where they got that from, but don't listen to nonsense. Gee, thanks, Phil. Like, literally, the podcast didn't need to happen. There was no reason. There was no new information given. It's just a waste of everyone's time, just like the entire week of rumor mongering. You have to stop with it. People have to stop wanting the worst and reveling in failure. Fucking stop it. You want to know what people should be reveling in? Success. For example, I have another news story this morning. Tekken 8 has sold 2 million copies in the only 2.5 weeks since it launched. Bandai Namco, says sales are better than they even expected. Tekken 8 is selling way faster than Tekken 7. Tekken 7 took 2 months to sell its full 2 million units, not 2 weeks. And this is pretty insane. So, fighting games are on the up and up. Street Fighter 6 sold well, Mortal Kombat 1 sold well, Tekken sold well. That's what we should be reveling in. Success, positivity, not fabricated failure. So you'll click on someone's show, podcast, article, and give them money. Stop falling for the drama. We need to shut the drama off on the internet and actually focus on positive, good things. Because that's what's important in life, not this trash. Okay? So, yeah, it really drives me nuts that so many people last week were freaking out. Here on my show, oh, Phil, you see, you're going to eat your words, Phil. You just wait till it comes out that this is all true and Xbox is now third party. I was like, you're all wrong. You're out of your minds. Why are you rumor mongering? That's all it is. It's all it's ever been. This shit happens at least 5 times a year. How many times a year do you hear about the new Switches coming out? Or the new Nintendo Direct's right around the corner and they're going to announce something huge or this. It's all bullshit. It always is. It's never right. Never is it right. But everyone still fucking believes it. All right? Anyway. That's that.
I got the drip going. 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 I got the drip going.
It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.